ACCUSTATS Video Productions presents from Chesapeake, Virginia, the 2000 U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship. Along with Grady Mathews, I'm Bill Incardona and Grady. We are on a roll.
Yes, we are, Bill. More than 300 players in this year's competition, and what a match we have for our viewers to peruse.
And why we are on a roll is because we've done 3 matches on the feature table, and each one of those matches have been excellent matches. Cachero, Ortman, Hernandez, Davenport, and Neville Imminent.
Look at these two lags.
In the match that we have coming up right here between Strickland and SanSouci, if the lag is any indication of how this match is going to turn out, but we're going to have another match that's going to be a nail-biter and a very interesting match.
Well, these are two highly pedigreed 9-ball players. Earl, of course, has won 4 Player of the Year awards, and Ginky won a major tournament on the Camel Tour last year, did he not?
Oh, he certainly did.
He also won the straight pool tournament in New York City, and he has every possible weapon in his arsenal.
And he finished second in the BCA 9-Ball Championships in Las Vegas a couple months ago. Johnny Archer defeating him in the finals in that tournament. He won the 9-ball division in Louisville about 8 months ago. This young man from New York is playing extremely well, and right now he's at the top of his game.
Yeah, and so is Earl, so this should be quite a match to watch. 18 Gold Crown tables set up at the Chesapeake Convention Center. This, of course, the 25th chapter in a long-running book. And the international flavor, I mean, the contingent from Japan is numbers over 30. And I don't know how many continents players are representing here, but certainly more than ever before. We even had one gentleman from Russia, if you can imagine that. And his interpreter got waylaid, and they were trying to find somebody to be able to interpret for him. I don't know if they ever did get that accomplished. All right, here we go. The ever patented SanSouci break. I like his break.
There's a lot of things about his game that I like, including his break. He's really a confident young player.
All right, he made 1 ball in the break. The 1 ball is positioned just past the left-hand side pocket. It does go in the corner. And he can't just shoot this in with no English because the cue ball might come out beyond the 7 and snooker himself. How do you like playing this, with a little low English?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I like playing this shot with a little low English, maybe going toward the 6. And that way, if I do happen to miss the 1 ball, I utilize the 7 for a blocker and even the 4 and the 9 for a blocker.
I don't really expect him to miss it. I think he'll make this, and this may set the tone for SanSouci's entire match. This nice little confidence-building, semi-tough opening shot. Oh, nicely done.
Right.
Nicely done.
Very nicely executed shot. Really didn't have much margin for error on that shot.
No, you saw how close he came to the 9-ball, and meanwhile, he cannot reach this. Is he good enough left-handed to shoot this, or is he going to have to get the bridge?
Well, he's going to have to be very good left-handed because he's going to have to elevate over the 7. And he's not really that tall, and it doesn't appear that he can reach it comfortably, and he's looking for the bridge as we speak.
Right, but for a fairly diminutive 9-ball champion, he's got a pretty good reach. That just is a bit too far away.
Difficult shot. He has to play good position on the 3. He's got the 6 and the 7 to deal with. If he chooses to go back, I don't believe he's going to do that. He may go forward.
I think he'll try to go forward 2 rails without blasting it, of course. Yeah, I think right English, maybe. Let's see how he plays it. I think he's going forward, don't you?
And it looks like he's coming back the way he's cueing it, which he did.
Okay.
Brushing the 6, getting away from that problem, which I'm certainly sure he's glad of. And he's come up with a shot on the 3. Not an easy shot, but it's a shot nevertheless.
I think he'll make this, and I think he'll use low right English and go over to the side rail and come out back above the 8-ball. He won't want to... well, he's looking at laying the cue ball over on the side rail. If he does that, it makes the pocketing of the 3-ball pretty tough.
Well, it makes the rest of the rack play much more simple if he's able to control the cue ball.
See, this is a shot I like, where he played it to hit it or stay below it, which is a very nice shot.
Well, that's actually a better shot because now the remaining, the remaining balls on the table are more accessible. accessible because he doesn't have to deal with the 9. If he goes on the other side of the 4, then he has to deal with the 9, and getting position for the 6 may have been a problem.
Okay, now he just has to make the 6 ball, and this rack is, for all intents and purposes, over.
So therefore, he really utilized fine judgment in playing position for the 4 ball in the fashion that he did. It just enabled him to comfortably run the remaining balls on the table.
He went a little farther than he wanted to here, but it's okay. If he has more angle, then I think he can go down to the end rail, or he can just punch it out. Let's see.
I think he's going to have to do a little extra traveling here.
Right.
I tell you what, that was a very difficult rack, and he worked his way through that rack, very well. And it's always a confidence builder to work your way through a difficult rack like that in the first rack of a match like this.
And incidentally, we'll keep everybody apprised of the current ACCUSTATS averages as these great champions go through this match.
Well, with the pocketing of the 9, he certainly has sent a message to Strickland. I've come to play. That rack, really demanded a lot of good play, and he obviously played that particular rack as well as it could have been played.
Absolutely. Let's talk about our expert technical personnel. We've got Julian Robertson and Dean Gupton, and they do everything that's asked and required of them, and plus more than that. And I certainly couldn't do the things that they do.
Well, you're finally starting to admit some stuff lately about your inability to do things.
Yes,
really generous of you.
But one thing hasn't changed. Your entry fee seems to perpetually get lost. You finally tired of taking the poundings from these great players, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm definitely, not a type of a person that enjoys paying like yourself.
Now, my friend from Norway is ahead of Parika 4-1. Vegard Christensen, I mentioned to Pat what a fine player he is, and maybe we'll get him on ACCUSTATS if he continues to do well here at the U.S. Open.
Oh, it looked like he was going to scratch there for an instant, but
well, he came up dry, and fortunately didn't scratch. Earl's going to have to push here. Now, Bill, where do you like going here?
Well, let's take a look at it.
Doesn't look like he's going to waste any time.
Well, that's not a bad push at all because.
Well, if he cuts the 1 ball slightly to his left, doesn't the cue ball go naturally behind the 6 ball? And
I don't know if he can do that comfortably.
Well, no, I wouldn't hit it far enough to go. I just use the 6 ball as a blocker. I think that's going to be his shot. A fairly thick hit. He just cut it very slightly to his left, and just float over there to about the 3rd diamond like that. I don't like Earl's rollout there. Ginky's a terrific safety player, and he left him an easy safety.
Well, had Earl rolled the cue ball another rotation, he wouldn't have had the ability to do that. And I think that if he would have done that, the rollout would have been, not a bad rollout.
And the cue ball could end up behind the 5-7 here if he gets up. Okay, what do you like here? This isn't so easy. The bank is makeable, but position on the 2 a little fraught with peril.
Well, if he plays offensively here, he's got a lot of work. And also, if he plays defensively with some sort of a safety here, it's not guaranteed that that's going to work out as well.
No, I'd like to go behind the 5-7. He didn't quite get it there. Now, this is one of Earl's fortes, so to speak. This is one of his best shots. He'll elevate the cue, and he's one of the few players in modern pooldom that can do this with accuracy. I love the way he hits shots of this nature, and he practices this shot.
Right, and this is why he practices this particular shot, because it takes the shot-making ability of a player like Earl Strickland to win games from this position, and when you can win games from this type of a position, then you start winning matches and tournaments.
Now look, he's looking at the billiard on the 7 ball, which is a shot I like, and he'll play position for the 5 ball in the pocket over there by the 9 ball when he gets to it. Now if the 4 doesn't pass the 5, or the 9. He's looking to see if it passes the 9. I think it passes the 9, but if not, a little bit of a tough position shot. Anyway, I love the way he hit that 1 ball. Now, this is one of Earl's better shots, too. He kills this with low outside English very well. He just float over to the side rail and back out a little bit. Low left-hand English. Or he decided to go into him. Well, that's a good shot, too. Now we play the 5 in the far right-hand corner pocket, the 6, of course, by the left-hand side pocket. Nice shot, nice shot.
Well, both players in their first opportunity at the table had problems with the rack they were confronted with, and both players, it looks like, at least up to this point, have done really well with their opportunity. Strickland obviously had a very difficult rack, which he's worked his way through quite nicely. SanSouci, in his opportunity at the table, worked his way through a very difficult rack as well. And at the end of game number 2, we have a tied match at 1 game apiece. This seems to be exactly what we wanted, and so far we're getting a pretty good performance by both players.
Yes, we are. You know, I like this tournament, Billy, because there's no politics. He opens it up, does Barry Berman, who, you know, this is the best 9-ball tournament in the world. I think this deserves to be called a U.S. Open or a World Championship or what have you, simply because of the open fields. I mean, I like players. I like this many players in attendance.
Yeah, I've always been an advocate of large fields. I think that it adds a lot more money for the players, and I'm certainly sure we all need that. And it gives us more of a challenge, and it gives us a bigger gate, more of an audience, and I think that it lends to a better tournament.
Well, sure. Plus, there's more spectacular after-hours activity.
Earl Strickland, 4-time U.S. Open champion, as you can see on your television screen. 5-time world champion, 4-time U.S. Open champion. What type of a chance does SanSouci has, considering the credentials of a Strickland?
Well, if I were a wagering man, I'd make this about an even money contest. I don't think either one of these great players has an advantage.
Well, that's kind of the way I see it as well. I think that it's a pretty even contest. Despite Strickland's credentials, I think at this time, SanSouci is the player that's on the roll. Strickland really hasn't won a tournament in quite some time, and he's going to have his hands full in defeating SanSouci in this match.
There's apparently a bit of a problem with racking the balls. I wish they'd solve that once and for all for 9-ball, Billy. You know, the guys struggle over getting a good rack, and they're not doing anything wrong. The balls sometimes are just obstinate. They don't want to rack correctly. And it kind of detracts from the game, I suspect.
Well, that's why in television matches, that is, they have a referee or a person, you know, designated to rack the balls, and he pushes them up the same way for both players. And there's not this confrontation all the time, the tournament director interceding and trying to deal with both players. All this nonsense doesn't exist.
Well, this very thing came up in Milwaukee. If you, I don't believe you were there, were you?
No.
Well, Earl walked out in the finals, and because Scott Smith told both players that he was going to rack the ball. And Earl didn't like that, so he just unscrewed his stick and left.
Well, that doesn't make Earl right.
No, I'm not saying he was right or wrong, but that's not going to happen here. But something needs to be done. There's been all kinds of enigmatic situations over the years. You remember the year that we did commentary when 29 corner balls, the same corner ball, went, in a row on the feature table.
That also was at the U.S. Open.
It was at the U.S. Open.
But it was at the other venue when they had it on Military Highway, wasn't it?
I don't remember exactly. I remember Siegel and Varner played the most famous match out of those entertaining.
I remember that match, yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
And I remember that they moved the spot up 1 whole inch and the same corner ball still went. And it made me question my physical things. I didn't know what to think or how to calculate things after that for a while. All right. Scott Smith, as usual, handily resolves the problem. And here's a second glance at the Earl Strickland break, or the first glance, I guess. No, second.
Corner ball being pocketed on that break. Strickland pocketing the corner ball.
No, he didn't make a ball.
I thought the corner ball went into the pocket. Wow, that's scary. No wonder I don't have.
You mean your eyesight?
Yeah, no wonder I haven't put up my entry fee for these events. No surprise to me. I remember the tournament when Mattia was playing Larry Hubbard.
Right.
And I think it was Mattia that broke the balls.
Yeah.
Didn't pocket a ball on the break, but it appeared like the corner ball had been pocketed. Mattia stayed at the table, and Hubbard didn't say a thing.
Yeah.
And the Mattia, I think he ran out. That was on one of our highlight tapes.
And it was 10 apiece, and we've referred to it as the ghost rack ever since.
The phantom ball or something. Something. The what? The what? The Phantom 5 ball. I was just told by Pat.
Now, I don't like leaving great players this close to the 1 ball on a push out. There's no way that SanSouci gets this shot, and he'll probably be snookered. I see a lot of ways to play this safe. Do you have a particular?
No, I don't. Offhand, right away, I don't really see.
Well, I like going behind the 7, using a just above center ball and cutting the 1 ball just slightly to the left. That makes the cue ball go a little bit to the right, and you want it to go forward slowly, and you just have to watch out for the right-hand side pocket. That's one shot. Another shot, he can thin it.
Right-hand side pocket? What do you mean right-hand side pocket?
Well, we're a little too late. He's going to shoot it. I mean, watch out for the 1 ball hitting the right-hand side pocket. Or this is about as good. But my point is there's no way that Ginky was going to be able to see the 1 ball. Now, I like cutting this towards a 2 ball if I can here. As I go 1 rail with a little right-hand English. Well, he decided to go the other way, and that was the other option. He's got a chance to make the 9. He would have had him safe if he doesn't. 2-1 SanSouci.
And you really need things like that to happen for you if you expect to go on and win big matches in tournaments. You have to play a little bit lucky, so therefore that's sometimes it is expected to happen. And when it happens, that player that it happens for usually goes on and wins.
6-1, my friend from Norway, over Parika. All right, he's shaking his head.
Now, I've watched 3 matches played on this table. I've done commentary on 3 matches played on this table. And none of the matches that I've done commentary on this table has had a confrontation about tracking the balls. So far, we've played 3 games. There's been 2 confrontations.
Well, I don't know how you do it, my friend. I usually let the 1 settle, and then I push the ball into the 1 ball and try to freeze them, and then take the rack off.
Right, and then your opponent makes 2 or 3 balls on the break every time. That's what happens to me too, and I just can't figure out how it doesn't happen to everyone else.
Well, these guys know things about racking the balls. There's a couple of neat little booklets out describing how you can have less balls go. In fact, our self-effacing editor-in-chief, Mr. Fleming, even has a thing out about how if you turn the numerals a certain way, less balls go or more balls go in the break. And then Joe Tucker from New England has a thing out about how, you can make balls on the break a little better. All right, the 6 went in the side pocket.
And notice when Strickland broke the balls, he made the corner ball right in, but came up without a shot.
I want to go ahead and talk, Billy. I want to show on the telestrator here. He's got a problem with this area right here, the 5-8. He can either play the 8 in the side or the 5 in this corner, but he needs to make plans right now for how he's going to handle that 3-ball cluster. Actually, the 4-5-8 are there, so if he makes the 4, it makes it a little easier to get position on the 5-ball.
I think he was taking a look at the possible 4-8 combination. I don't know if that's available because of the position of the 5. Maybe it is, but from my vantage point, it's almost impossible to see. Evidently, it's not, because now he's looking at playing position for the 4 in the lower left-hand corner.
Well, if that's the case, I like pulling the cue ball right over to the side rail.
Or stopping it.
This is better here, I think.
It's better because he can play the natural angle for position for the 4 in that corner. The other way, he would have to use the side rail, and he wouldn't have the accuracy that he has on this angle. And this angle allows him to reposition the cue ball much more comfortably for a shot on the 4 in the lower left-hand corner.
Now, sometimes these are optical illusions. From my vantage point, it appears that the 4 goes straight in this corner.
And he wanted to come over about another 8 inches or so, and he's falling short of the mark. But he's going to still probably attempt to pocket the 4 in the lower left-hand corner.
Now, what he has to watch, he's looking at it right now, is that he doesn't knock the 5 down at the end rail. He doesn't want to do that. Just wants to graze the 5.
Is he playing a safety?
No, well, maybe he is. Okay.
He wanted to contact the 9 with the 4 ball, which would have then stopped the progress of the 4 ball. And then he would.
Well, I would be really unhappy, even if Earl has to kick at this, which I don't think he does. I'd be unhappy to leave him this good a kick.
Oh, he can see the ball.
Right,
there's no question.
But what do you do with it? It's too tough to cut it if the 8 ball interferes with his bridging of the shot. Plus, it might scratch cross side.
And not only does the 8 ball interfere with the bridging of the shot, but the left-hand side of the 8 ball is snookered by, left-hand side of the cue ball is snookered by the 8 ball, diminishing the accuracy of the hit.
Well, I think he might play this. Let's see.
See, now the shot was much more difficult because of the outside of the cue ball was obscured by the 8 ball.
I thought, is this our correct score, 2-1? I thought it was 3-1. Is it 2-1? Okay, I stand corrected, sorry. Well, this angle here, the way this is laying, if I see that combination correctly, I might plan to play the 8 in the side. That's what he's going to do.
Well, if he pockets the 8 in the side, the 5 ball will then be repositioned where it will be pocketable in the upper left-hand corner pocket. And I think this is a pretty easy call here. He would like to send the cue ball back across table on the left-hand side of the table.
Yeah, I might even draw this with low right English and come around the 9 ball. Of course, I'm going to send the 5 towards the far left-hand corner pocket.
I don't know if he wants to hit it that hard.
I don't think he's got to hit it all that hard.
I think the 5 ball is going to go toward that corner pocket.
All right, let's see. I like that a little better.
Yeah, see, the 5 is going to go toward that corner pocket, and
well, going straight across the table looked awkward to me. Now, he got a little hard luck that the 5 went.
Yeah, I agree, but I figured it was going to go toward that corner pocket. By hitting it that hard, you run the risk of pocketing the 5. Now that's good speed.
Very nice shot, nice shot, nice shot. remarkable position skills, this young champion from New York, who had a neck operation about a year ago, and he's recovered rather nicely. And now our score correctly reads 3-1 SanSouci.
Yeah, he actually misplayed the safety a little bit by not allowing the 4 ball to hit the 9, but nevertheless, he still worked out well for him. Strickland went to the table and chose to shoot a very difficult shot on the 4, overcutting it, and then SanSouci came to the table, and he delivered exactly what he wanted to by running out the balls, and quite nicely, I might add.
Well, I can't fault Earl for shooting at that. He's always liked to shoot.
No, I
the
don't.
Safety wasn't any bargain.
No, I don't fault him for shooting the 4 either.
It's just hard not to twist the cue and twist English onto that cue ball when another ball interferes with the proper bridging of such a thin shot or a thinly struck shot. All right, George is satisfied this time with the rack. He's gonna.
Maybe not.
No, further scrutiny suggests a re-rack, perhaps. Okay. Now I think he's satisfied at last and ready to go. Buddy Hall calling for a tournament official to watch a shot.
This could very well be the finals of this event, SanSouci and Strickland, and we're treated to it in, I think, round number 4. Scratching in the side pocket, SanSouci allowing Earl at the table with ball in hand, and I don't think George's going to like this.
Well, I like playing position for the 2-ball in the corner here, Billy. That way I can't risk getting out of line. I just lay it over on the side rail, the far right-hand side rail.
And I don't fault your way of thinking at all. If you lay it on that side rail, that carries a natural angle for position for the 3. And he opted to do something differently. And he may run into a problem here because of the 8-ball.
Well, he's got to use low right-hand English and go down to the end rail, and as you suggested, avert the 8-ball.
See, you want to stay away from traffic if at all possible, and selecting your shot would have allowed him to do that. Now let's see, let's take a look at the cue ball. Look at what he's done here.
Well, so he got in trouble there.
Right. So obviously your method would have been a lot safer and more simple than the route that Strickland chose.
Now, I don't know.
But you don't shoot as straight as Strickland.
No, I didn't claim that I did. Well, I like the path of least resistance. Now, he's going to have to bank this cross corner or play safe. Oh, he could cut it inside. He wasn't. Okay, I thought it was thinner than that. So he's all right. He's in good shape here. Except that he doesn't want to hit the 6 or end up behind the 8. How do you like playing this one? You like going into the 6 easily? Now, he's going to look at it right now.
Yeah, well, I kind of like going into it with a low ball, hitting...
right, low right angle.
I don't want to hit beneath the 6. You might end up behind the 8.
Right, he just wants to make a fat hit, but easy.
Yeah, right.
6-ball.
If he would hit
this
6,
is okay. As long as he stays above the 8. And he went over and looked at that. All right, he's in pretty good shape now. The 5 and 6 in the 2 side pockets. Get a slight angle on the 8-ball.
Yeah, this is a kind of a layout I'd like to be shooting.
Yes, even you would be out here.
I think so. Even after a long layoff, possibly.
Well, I don't believe in that. I think you have a table in your residence, and I think you practice to catch the rest of us unawares.
Well, I can understand why you think that way, because every time I play you, I'm definitely prepared.
That's funny. All right, 2-3, Strickland and SanSouci.
But you're mistaken. That's right. It's 3-2 in favor of SanSouci. Yeah, I totally agreed with your way of shooting the 1 and the 2, and Strickland opted to do something differently, and it looked like he ran into a problem and was fortunate to have gotten away with it.
Yeah, running into balls in the middle of the table isn't usually good.
And it's not often that we agree. You know,
Oh, I don't know about that. We agree on lots of things. It doesn't seem that way because when we don't agree, it stands out all the more. But we often agree on the textbook professional way to play certain layouts. Well, let's see if Earl is quickly satisfied with the rack. We'll know in a few short seconds.
What's wrong with racking your own?
Well, I like that. All of my tournaments, I let the guys rack their own balls. But anymore, Billy, I think 9 ball's too easy for the modern day players. Anyway, you're supposed to make 1 or more balls on the break under tournament conditions. New cloth and soft rails. All right, let's see if Earl can make a ball on the break.
Last time he broke the ball, the corner ball went in. The 8 ball's on the wing. This time, let's see what happens to it. Not this time. Watch the 9. Nope, not rewarded with the ball on the break. SanSouci steps to the table very quickly. The 1 and the 2 present no problem. The 2 to the 3, no problem. But then the 3 to the 4, maybe a problem there.
But I think the 4 passes right between the 5-7, Billy. He's looking at it right now.
If it passes, yeah. If it passes, then he's going to have to play in a pretty good position.
Well, it goes in the corner or the side.
Well, either pocket demands a pretty active cue ball. Well, he got away with it. He got away with it, and he may have alleviated somewhat the problem that he had with the 4, but I don't think so. I think that he may have complicated it a little bit more because now if he opts to play the 4 in the lower left-hand corner, he's going to be on the wrong side of the 4.
That's true, yeah. Well, sometimes if he has the right angle, I like to go down to the end rail. I think he's just going to stop the ball. Oh, he had to cut it the other way, okay.
Okay, now keep in mind, he's going to probably play the 4 in the lower left-hand corner, staying to the left of the 4. And he's not going to want to get close to that 6 or on the side of the table where the 6 is, because if he does that, he runs a risk of hooking himself. So therefore, he's going to have to do some traveling after pocketing the 4 to get some sort of a shot on the 5.
Well, to make this a little easier to have the proper sensitivity and speed, I like to go 2 rails here rather than 1 with quite a bit of left English.
No, I kind of still like the 1 rail route.
Okay, well, you're right.
But now he's a little awkward here, you know. I mean, this is not really that easy.
No, he has to worry a little bit about the 6 ball. He's got to bounce it over to the side rail, back across the table. The question is, do you go above or below the 6?
I stay below the 6 here. I stay below the 6 like he tried to, but he wasn't able to pocket the 4. And that was really a surprise to me to see him not pocket the 4.
Well, he was a little tentative on that stroke. Now, Earl, this is one of his better shots, too. He doesn't use a high ball here. He uses a just above center ball. I think we'll see 3 rails. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. For you aspiring great 9-ball players, that's the proper way to hit such shots. It's the most conducive speed to pocket such a thin cut. All right, just like this, in all probability, we're going to be knotted up at 3 games each.
And once again, another layout that I wouldn't mind being at the table.
And maybe we can get an update on the ACCUSTATS averaging.
Yeah, SanSouci definitely had a great opportunity to widen the gap there to 4-2, but really blundered a little bit there shooting the 4. I didn't think he was going to miss the 4. I thought.
Well, he'd love to have that shot back, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. You know.
And wouldn't we all when you make an unforced error of that nature?
Yeah, and that's definitely a ball he should have pocketed. It's going to probably end up costing him more than that one game.
Well, see, where I think his problem started was moving that 6 ball to begin with. It made it a lot tougher position shot. it was already a little bit problematic, and then when he drew off the 1 ball to get position on the 2 ball with that spin, he moved the 6 ball into an even more awkward position.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well, and actually it turned out that that was the problem he created for himself. But in spite of that, he still should have gotten out.
Oh, true. Well, questions linger after many racks.
Strickland shooting a 958, SanSouci 815.
But they're tied up 3 apiece. Isn't that something? All right, Strickland has only made 1 error, Ginky 4 errors. Well, the ACCUSTATS averaging is a great tool to see how your 9-ball game stacks up to the pros. And as we've discussed many times, nowadays it's necessary to average a little over 900 to have a chance to win tournaments, in my view. Used to be 850s would do it.
Well, once again, that depends on what the conditions are and how small the pockets are, stuff like that. That comes into play when you consider how much you have to average to win tournaments. When you're playing on equipment that has real small pockets, maybe it's a little damp in the room, I think, the high 800s will win tournaments.
Well, these rails are coming off considerably shorter than new cloth tournament tables should. And I attribute that in part to the Norfolk famous humidity factor, and secondly, to the coolness of this room, which we talked about during our break.
And then thirdly, to the amount of spectators that's going to be here come this weekend.
Oh, that's the truth. Boy, doesn't it change when it's a room full of people.
Get a lot of people sweating and smoking. Well, of course, there's no smoking allowed here in the tournament room, I'm really thankful of that. And I'm certainly sure a lot of the players are as well.
Well, I hope they get the rack situation resolved, my friend, or we may be likely to have a long evening. And while we have a little respite here, let's mention that for a buffet of delectable billiard topics, tapes, products, you have simply to call the ACCUSTAT number, which is 1-800-828-0397. All right, here we go. 3 each.
There's that corner ball again, along with the 1 on the side.
With the 2 balls on the end rail, he's going to have to roll out here. Now, where do you push? I kind of like the middle of the end rail but off the rail about 6 inches.
Well, what do you do if he gives you the shot?
I play safe.
How?
By knocking it right back to about where the cue ball is.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I didn't think that was the right place to push.
Well, if he wants to, he could put the cue ball behind a 4-5 and knock this up towards a 6. But I don't like that shot. I might pass here. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of like pass myself, it looks like.
There's no way he can hit the right side of the 2 ball as he looks at this shot and get it safe. And the other side really poses a threat. Cue ball does not go naturally anywhere.
Well, there's no guarantee by hitting the left side of the 2 ball that the player shooting is going to walk away from the table in good shape. No guarantee about that. So therefore, he can't win with the shot, so why not pass it back and take your chances in the chair?
Yeah. I like to go behind a 5 ball if I'm going to shoot this.
It's hard to get there, but...
Well, that's what I'm going to try to do.
Perfect hit can get him there, but it's hard to get there. And that's one of the reasons why the pass was probably the right choice.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Now, the only problem with this rack, he needs to...
The only problem with this rack is that the guy in the chair isn't shooting.
Well,
Whoever's in the chair, that's the problem. I don't think there's a problem with this rack.
Well, he just wants to be careful with getting on the 4-ball. Okay, that's nice.
That's a very nicely executed job. Maybe falling a little short of the mark because unless he can just softly roll it.
Well, if not, he can go down the end rail, but yeah, he was able to roll it.
Okay, this seems to be game ball.
Yeah, all he has to do is make the 5, exactly. The 5's a game ball. Uh-oh.
That's 2 balls that he missed that he figured to have made. And when you miss 2 balls in a match against an upper echelon player that you figure to make, you figure to lose the match. Yeah, I would think that that's a fairly safe assumption.
Well, we talked about this a lot in most of the matches. I think you can make 2 errors, but not more than that.
Well, that type of an error is one that's really unforgiving because you're not supposed to make that error. You know, there are some errors that you make that you may be not much of a favorite not to make it, but not that type of an error. You know, that's a very taxing error, not only with the score but on your psyche as well. Game number 7 goes to Strickland as game number 6 did. Thanks to the generosity of SanSouci, Strickland now leads in the match 4 games to 3. SanSouci in the chair, starting to have some doubts.
Well, he hit that 5-ball shot tentatively, did he not?
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think that he's not really, you know, he doesn't have a lot of killer in him. You know, he's playing like casually.
He's playing like you and me tonight.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's missing balls. You know, and he's not supposed to be missing balls.
No, he's not a ball misser.
No, you know, especially the types of balls that he's missed. You know, he's not supposed to miss those balls. And he's probably more aware of it than anyone. And that's why I'm saying it's probably fooling with his psyche right now, and he can't allow that to happen.
Well, it would appear that Scott Smith is going to rack the balls for the remainder of this contest. All right, Earl made a ball on the break. And this is what you have to watch out for with Earl Strickland, where you give him a couple of extra opportunities at the table, and a lot of times he'll stick 3 or 4 or 5 racks on you.
Well, George has given him 2 extra opportunities now at the table, you know, and that's quite a bit for a player like Earl, you know. Earl's average at the table is obviously much higher than all other players. In terms of putting together racks.
Right.
You know, so therefore, when you're playing a force like Strickland, you really can't afford to make many mistakes.
And this is a perfect angle. You'll use low right-hand English and just come back a couple of feet towards the 4-ball. Then he'll have the proper angle to get position on the 6-ball in the side pocket. Just like this, good shot.
Yeah, he's going to have to apply a lot of inside English on this shot unless he chooses another route. Nicely executed shot.
Yeah. Now, I think he got an angle where he can just brush across the top of the 8-ball.
Yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't have any problem here.
Or this, which is just about as good. And he'll play position for the 8 in the side pocket. A little closer to the side than he wanted to go.
Yeah, he loses a little body English.
Well, that's because these rails are coming off a bit short that he came that close to the side.
And Strickland now, with the pocketing of the 9, will extend his lead in the match by 2 games, 5 games to 3. I remember you saying a lot back in the Reno days, now's a good time for George to take a break, go to the bathroom, you know, wash his face, check his ID to make sure he knows who he is, and then come back with a refreshed, demeanor.
Well, I think that we have not yet reached the pinnacle that other sports have as far as Zen-like thinking. You know, things like meditation and self-help tapes, all of that kind of inspirational talks to oneself. Those are interesting numbers, Billy, aren't they? 950 is without a doubt championship level 9-ball. SanSouci has dropped to a dismal 781.
One ball. And does he have a pocket for the 2? Well,
yeah,
it
goes by the 9-ball. But how do you like playing position here? Let's have a look at this on the telestrator, and I'll show you what I like. I like making the 2 in this corner and the cue ball here and right out in here. So
yeah, well, that looks like a very, very effective way of playing position for the 3. He may try to draw back, but I like your pattern much better.
Well, it's as little cue ball movement as I could come up with for something, just like this.
Yeah, and he saw
shot.
It the same way.
And it also afforded the highest percentage way of pocketing the 2 ball.
Right, you don't have to really pound it, where you're going to diminish the accuracy somewhat by hitting it with that type of velocity.
That's a nice shot. Nice shot.
Yeah, he's falling a little short of the mark.
Yeah, this is okay. This is one of his better shots here anyway. Low right-hand English. Over to the side rail and back towards the 5-ball.
He definitely has the stroke for this shot, no question about it.
He'll just hit this at nice medium speed.
And he would like really to keep a nice angle on the 5, considering the position of the 6.
Right, of course.
Obviously played it more rails than I thought he would.
Well, me too, but that's just as good.
Better, because he ended up closer to the 5.
Well, this is the Earl Strickland we know right here. Now just float the 6-ball in for natural position on the 7-ball. And 1 rail back up for the 8-ball. And I suspect he'll go 2 rails here. Just straight back and forth like this. Good shot. And just like this, it's 6-3, Earl Strickland.
Yeah, he's definitely making it look easy. No question about that. 6-3 in favor of Strickland. And usually very stubborn SanSouci seems to be very generous tonight.
Yeah. Very un-SanSouci-like. Now George has to worry about Earl running some more racks here too.
Well, I don't think he should be worried about it. I think he should just try to relax now and gather himself, because there's nothing he can do in that chair that's going to stop Earl from doing what he's going to do.
You don't think a textbook wiggling will change anything?
I don't know.
Voodoo incantations?
Well, nothing like that will help.
Okay. Well, he came up dry, so he's got an opportunity here.
And a good one, too. And so, therefore, he has to make good with the trails in this match, 6 games.
No, but it's
3.
a tough position shot. He can go 2 rails underneath the 7 and back out between the 3 and 5. That's nice. See, he's looking at that. It's not so easy.
Why can't he go around the 7 and rest the cue ball on that side cushion and come off the side cushion 5 or 6 inches?
Well, he could do that, but he's got to take a longer shot on the 2 ball.
Well, it's in front of the pocket. I don't see why he wouldn't do that.
All right, he could try to come all the way down to the end rail, too. All right, he's going to do your shot.
And there's no reason to get fancy from that position, knowing all that traffic.
It's not easy to get on the 3 ball here. See, he could catch this a hair fat or a hair thin and end up snookered here.
Yeah, well, he was going to try to go into the 4. He's going to try to play position to go into the 4 and stay on the outside of the 4 softly.
Well, he'll want to stay to the right of the 4 ball as we look at it on the screen.
Just like that.
Good shot.
Yeah, that's a very nice shot.
But that wasn't easy.
Well, for this type of a player, I think it plays relatively easy.
Okay.
Now he has to really redeem himself from them last two costly blunders at the table.
Well,
and,
plus this is a must-have game for him, Bill.
Oh, absolutely.
If he doesn't get out here, this match, for all intents and purposes, is probably over.
Yeah, he really hasn't been playing with a lot of heart.
No, but I like the pace with which he's attacking this rack now.
Nicely executed.
Yeah,
shot.
and notice he's on the right side of the 6-ball.
It appears that was quite simple, but it certainly wasn't. The excellent speed of the cue ball sometimes is very deceiving.
And notice also, all aspiring 9-ball players who might be watching this great tape, that he goes to great lengths to not get straight in on the 7-ball. That would make the shot a little bit tough. Now he'll just make the 8-ball and bounce out one rail towards the 9-ball. Maybe just below center ball, touch of right-hand English, just like that. Nicely done.
This was a big rack for SanSouci.
Oh, sure.
Not only for the score, but for himself.
All right, our score is now 6-4, Earl Strickland.
And let's see what he can do with the break now.
Trying to remember what he did on his last break attempt. Do you recall?
I believe he pocketed a ball, and he had a shot on the 1, and that was the rack where he tried to shoot the 4 in the lower left-hand corner.
Okay.
And he ended up, I think he was playing safe on the 4.
One of the Japanese players is leading Buddy Hall 4-1. It looks like T. Makari.
Pocketing the 3. It looks like he hasn't come up with a shot on the 1.
He might be able to make that. If the 7, maybe we can get a close-up of that on our screen and see just how close the cue ball is to that 7. Of course, we're going to know in a minute anyway, based on whether he rolls out.
Yeah, well, we don't know where the 1 is from that shot. So
Well, I see that he, if the 7 is not in the way, that he could definitely make the 1 on the side. All right, he's looking at rolling out. Oh, this is a tough rollout here.
Yes, it is.
Now, see, I like what he's looking at there. Let me show you on the telestrator what I would do with this shot. I like rolling out here and putting it right here, or even right here.
Oh, I don't know about that, because if you do that, look what he can do in return. If you put the cue ball here, he can hit the 1 into the 2, stopping the progress, and then dropping down here.
No, I wouldn't want it that far down. All right, let's see what he does here. This looks awfully touchy. But if this isn't something, I think Earl's going to give him this.
He had a very difficult situation to deal with, and I'd be surprised to see Earl not give it to him.
Well, if I could hit the left side of the 1 here, I could play the 8 or play a safety. I'd be happy to be able to hit the left side of the 1.
I don't know if he can do that.
Well, if not, maybe he can hit it thick enough to play a safety by kind of stopping the ball. I don't know if he can hit that much over or not. Well, I think he's made a great rollout, as evidenced by Earl's scrutiny of the situation.
Absolutely. Anytime there's this much indecision out there, you've done your job.
Well, Earl's going to shoot. Let's see what happens.
I don't know if he's gotten. Yeah, he has gotten away with it. Yeah, executed that shot very nicely. Very nicely, using a nice soft stroke, controlling the cue ball behind the 2. Very nicely executed.
Another one of Earl's strengths too. That's very hard to do. Now, there's no way to kick naturally at this. He's got to load this up with left English if he goes to our side of the end rail. The other way, the 9 blocks part of it. Now, if he mass saves it, he's not going to get this safe. I don't believe. Can't get enough speed on it. I like going just past the 5-ball and loading it up with left-hand English. Now he's going to go this way. He takes a good hit. The 9 blocks part of the
smaller ball.
Yeah. Oh, what a nice shot. Oh, what a beautiful shot. He's not going to get rewarded, but...
He might get rewarded if he doesn't scratch. You know, this is not the easiest shot in the world.
No, but it is for Earl Strickland.
I don't care who's at the table. This shot is not an easy shot. This shot is not an easy shot.
Well, he elevates the cue, and remember, he hits these with such accuracy. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't pocket this 1 ball. Make it look easy. Got the right angle to get position on the 2 ball on the side pocket, too. Just like that. I never see Earl miss those.
Well, Earl misses that type of shot less often than most other players. I wouldn't go as far to say I never see him miss.
Well, I mean generally. I certainly don't mean 100% of the time.
Watch out. Now this may be a problem. The closeness of the cue ball in relation to the 4 may create somewhat of a problem, not only in pocketing the 4, but repositioning the cue ball for the 5.
Well, he's going to have to play position for the 5 in the same pocket if I see the angle correctly.
Or maybe he can just bounce off and play position to the side.
No, it's not that much cut on it. He just punched it over to his left. Oh, I think he found that.
Wow, he certainly did go forward there.
Yeah, he went forward faster than it should have for a single hit.
Yeah, that seems to be relatively questionable there.
I wouldn't mind seeing that on tape if in slow motion, but I think we'd have to view that from the side to be accurate in our assessment of it. And Scott Smith, of course, great tournament director, so if he said it was okay, I'm sure it probably was.
Maybe he looked at the elevation and made his decision from the elevation. If you elevate, possibly you get away with a little more.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to go that far. Those balls were only an inch or 2 apart. Not supposed to go that far that quickly.
Right.
Okay, at any rate, it appears there's going to be 7 games to 4 forthwith. Well, this is a wonderful thing every year, Billy. Indian summer in Chesapeake. We've grown accustomed to coming here every year in September or October. Now, we're going to have a look at this shot.
Well, maybe you can describe. Well, we can't see the shot. I don't know if we can see the shot. Here it is.
Here it is. Now, watch this. I think he has to hit it twice to go. Oh, yeah, he hit it 2 times.
Yeah, it's awfully difficult to do what he did without hitting it.
Well, the finest billiard players in the world have a tough time with that shot.
Yeah.
The cue ball go forward with a pretty level cue.
Yeah, hitting it with a lot of topspin. I didn't see much topspin on that shot.
Well, I would have called a foul on that shot, but I'm not the tournament director. I'm sitting up here like a lackey in the company of you, so which consternates me somewhat too.
Oh yeah. I don't think that the incoming player or the Earl's going to like this.
No, he's going to be behind the 3 ball. I think he cannot hit much of this 1 ball, Billy. I think he'll just hit it thinly, making sure not to leave it in front of the side and come out 1 rail behind the 3. You see anything that is more enticing?
I don't think so. Break time for SanSouci.
Well, they're going to take a short break, and I suspect so shall we.
Okay, I think that's what we'll do. And before we take our break, let's take a look at the stats. Strickland shooting a 965. SanSouci shooting an 833.
Nicely evidenced by the current score.
7-4. Okay, and now we'll take our break, and we'll be back when they're back. Okay, we're back in action as SanSouci makes his way to the tournament area. And he's confronted with this relatively easy safety on the one. He trails in the match 7-4, and he really must perform from this point out if he expects to beat probably the best 9-ball player, or for sure one of the best 9-ball players in our world today.
And this again is kind of a must-have game for him too. 7-5 reads much better for him than 4-8. Okay, he was able to hit. We were talking with our friend Marty during the break, and he thought that he could hit most of the 1 ball, and he was right. Well, now this this is not an easy kick.
But considering the closeness of the 1 and 8, I would definitely would summon Scott Smith over to take a good look at this hit if he opts to shoot it from the right-hand side rail.
Scott is, well, he looked at it briefly, and now he heads the other way.
No, I definitely would call him over because this is a very questionable hit. It could be very questionable.
Right, especially if the 1 ball, he's having him watch it. That's pretty smart, as you suggested. The angle he's taken here, I think he's going to come short.
It looks like he is shooting it short.
Oh, he hit it. Okay, good shot. Might make it. But now he's got to make another trick shot. I like the umbrella shot here. And that is a shot where you go exactly 2 rails, strike an object ball, and go on to accomplish some desired result. So I like going 2 rails, thinning the 2 ball and knocking it behind the 9 ball. And the cue ball goes right like into the 5-6 gently.
Yeah, actually limiting what your opponent can do when he's back at the table.
All right, here's what we want. 1, 2, the outside of the 2 ball, the cue ball ends up here, the 2 ball here. Like that. Nice shot. A little hard.
Right, he did hit it a little hard.
Now the 2-8 billiard might be on unless the 8's a little too far from the side pocket.
I don't think the 8 has any chance of going into the side. Look at the monitor. It's very, very difficult.
Okay. The bank doesn't go. Well, he can hit at least part of this 2 ball, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it does go.
Oh, my. Oh, my. He struck it too hard. He ended up behind the 5.
That was a nice bank shot, too. Beautiful shot.
And he's really going to have a problem hitting the 3. He can. The 1 cushion is about the only reasonable route he has to the 3.
Yep. Yeah, the 7 ball's in the way of going 2 rails. Yep, you're right. He made a terrific shot there. I'm gonna hit this with just a nice medium speed. Try to get a little distance between the cue ball and the 3 ball, if I can. Because you're not likely to make this.
Well, that wasn't all that bad. He
can cut this in, can't he?
I don't know if he can.
But the question is, can he get position? I show you, I like just floating the cue ball, 1 and right about this range there. Let's see if that's what he elects to do, if it's cuttable. I'm not going to get very cute here. Just like that. He elected to go 2 rails, and if he hit it, that's fine. Oh, nice shot, Earl. Nice shot. Now, does the 6 pass the 9? Can you tell from your vantage point?
No, it doesn't, but he's going to be on the right side of the 5. He's going to probably loosen that up somewhat.
He's looking at it right now. Looking at what kind of angle he would like. Got to be careful to get the right angle. The cue ball could slip around the 8 ball when he pockets the 5 and he breaks the 6 out, and he could be snookered.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit it that hard, though. I don't think he's going to hit it that hard.
Well, if he doesn't, then the 9 ball could block the 6 from going. Not the easiest shot in the world here.
And if he hits it hard, he's going to go forward.
Okay, good shot. And again, he made it appear easy. It certainly was not. Well, you sure can't blame Ginky. He made a lovely cross-side bank on the 2-ball. And he hit it too good. And I hate it when I do that. I hit a shot too good and end up snookered. At any rate, our score now reads 8 games to 4. Earl Strickland.
Yeah, he really actually is making Earl's job a lot easier. You know, Earl really hasn't had to work for the opportunities he's been given. They've been given to him. But I'm not trying to take anything away from his play. He's played really extremely well in this match.
Which he usually does. Okay. I think he changed sides. I believe he broke from the other side on his last effort. One on the side. All right, he doesn't have a shot here.
Yeah, but he's got a real good safety.
Well, you like putting the cue ball behind the 7 and
Yeah.
banking the 2-ball back down to the lower
Yeah,
end, right?
because he's got both the 7 and the 6 for blockers. That's a real good situation he has here.
Now that was risky, and he sold out. He left George a nice keyhole.
I kind of like hitting the 2-ball much thicker than that.
Well, when I teach people, students, the safety part of the game, I tell them to try to put the balls on opposite ends of the table when you can. And if nothing else, you leave great distance. When you can control both balls, that's great. Now, George has a chance to get back in this match. He needs to put this game on his side of the ledger first. And, of course, he's going to begin by pocketing the 2-ball and playing position for the 3-ball.
Position for the 3-ball may be a little more difficult than...
He's going to kill this, I think, with low right-hand English. Let's see if he does that. Oh, no, you like to go...
Made a real nice shot, too. But he hit it a little harder than he wanted to. But in order to get the distance and the length out of the shot, maybe he had to hit it.
Well, he's got to hit this easy to make sure that he doesn't go into the 4-ball. If he hits it with any speed at all, the cue ball goes to the end rail and then into the 4. Or he has to draw it, which makes it tough. He could catch the bottom of the 9. He could scratch. I think he just floats this in and hits it easy like that.
Nice shot.
Very nice shot. Now I think he'll shoot this left-handed again. And do you like just leaving it on the side rail?
Oh, yeah. The 6-ball's up the other end of the table. You can also shoot the 5 up there.
Yeah, he's going to use the bridge, okay.
Well, there's no reason to do anything else. You have position. Why try to create another type of a...
Yeah, he wants to be careful not to get straight in. He wants to get closer to it. That's perfect. That's a nice shot. Now he just has to make this. Good shot. Okay. I can either lay it on the end rail or come out 2 rails according to his exact angle. This is the shot I like. Now he'll make the 7 and go 1 rail towards the 8-ball. Just like that. Nicely done. Now he just has to pocket the 8 and 9, and he forges ahead a little closer. And our score is going to read 8 games to 5 advantage, Earl Strickland.
If you notice, he has a lot of supporters in the crowd.
Yeah.
George does.
Well, he's a very popular player.
And he has shown in the past that he certainly is a resilient player, has the ability to come from behind. I've seen him do that several times in this tournament. He was trailing in his match with Jamie Goodwin 9-6, and he came back and he won that match 11-10. So therefore, you know, he does.
Jamie was disappointed. He told me today that he felt like he had given that match away. And of course, it was a critical match in this star-studded event.
That's, I'll tell you what, he's got a shot here. If he pockets the one ball, the two balls cross table from the one, all he needs to do is pocket the one, and he should run this rack.
Right. And he had a shot similar to this, the first rack, if you'll recall.
Now on this table, Grady, if he hits it softly, this one ball may roll out. I've seen this type of a shot roll out if he hits it softly.
I'd hit this medium speed at least, like that.
See it rolling out?
Right. Yeah,
see it rolling out? I'm telling you, that ball rolls out a lot. And he hit it well enough to make it, but it rolled out on him a little bit.
Well, that's fascinating to me because, that's a big shot at this juncture of this match, too. 8-6 is reachable. 9-5, boy, that's quite a different story.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and he had a real good opportunity to sustain this run and string a couple racks.
Can Earl cut this, do you think, or not?
Oh, yeah, he can definitely cut it in.
Okay. Just a question then of how he wants to
play
position.
Well, will he cut it in, you know?
Well, if he does, I'd like to send the cue ball towards the 6 ball, maybe up that direction.
No, it has to go in that direction. Oh, wow. If it hits the 6, you know, he got away with it. He got away with it.
Well, I think that was a much harder shot than it looked like. He was playing it, but it was a tough angle, and he wanted to hit it too thick rather than too thin, figuring he'd leave it safe probably. I don't think he thought he could comfortably pocket that one ball.
Well, he had to be playing that ball because if he played safe, I don't think he played safe on that shot.
No, but he didn't really go all out to make it either. Now, Ginky excels at the jump shot with his own cue. He does that with accuracy. The problem was that the 90-degree angle took the cue ball straight into the pocket, which is what happened.
Yeah. You know, I don't even know if I would have played the pocket, the one ball, considering the position of the two.
No, you play to hit that too thickly, and that way you don't scratch.
You know, either that or hit it thin and go back up table with the cue ball. And I was thinking about that happening when he was shooting the shot. I was saying, what's his chances of pocketing the one and getting position for the two? It doesn't seem like there was any chance of that happening. So therefore, I think that he should have then revised his plan somewhat and reconsidered, you know, and not pocketing the one, maybe hitting the one ball a little bit thinner, trying to get some distance in between both the one and the cue ball.
He can just shoot and stop the ball or come back a little bit, or he can just bounce it out one rail. Like this. Good shot. Okay.
See, and if you notice, you know, he's making Earl's job just a little too easy.
Oh,
every time Earl steps to the table, he has something that's like, you know, easy.
True.
You know,
True.
And it's awful nice when you step to the table with a nice shot to get you in the rhythm. And Earl's been in a good rhythm the entire match.
He's going to play this inside and go 3 rails. 1, 2, 3 towards the 9 ball. Nice shot. And barring the unforeseen and quite unpredictable, Earl's going to be ahead 9-5. And that, of course, is a formidable lead.
Well, certainly one that's not surmounted easily, 9-5. Not very often do you see a player lose from 9-5. You know, but it is possible. It is possible. it would have to be a drastic turn of events for SanSouci to win this match from a 9-5 deficit.
Now let's see if he plays the one on the side. Didn't go on the side.
No, he's going to have a shot. No, he's not.
He didn't make anything.
Well, I was talking about George.
Okay. Well, he doesn't even have a good safety here. This is a rough spot for George SanSouci.
Yeah, I think he's got a safety. I think he can cross the one, repositioning the cue ball if you have a... Let me see. I think that he can cross the one and then reposition the cue ball down here somewhere.
Well, remember my rule for beating this kiss. He has to have room to shoot the one ball, or the cue ball past the one into the far left-hand corner to beat the kiss if he uses inside English on a crossing bank such as this. But I believe he does have such room.
Sometimes it's hard to pull the trigger on a shot like this.
Oh, sure.
This requires a very thin hit on the one, by the way, because he has to hit as far to the left on that bottom cushion as possible. If he's choosing to play it like that, I don't know what else he has.
Well, he almost looks like he wants to roll out here. Or no, he's not. He's looking at where to bank it over to that far left-hand side rail. I like going 1-2 rails and try to come underneath that 2 ball. Like this. Oh boy, what a shame. I don't know that he's left a shot here, Billy, but if he doesn't catch the point, he's got him snookered. And a tough kick at that.
Oh yeah, he's got him in a lot of trouble, and that's what he needed to do, trailing 9-5.
Well, I've caught that point thousands of times, playing 9-ball in one pocket.
Strickland is going to play a little bit of safety. It's not often you see Strickland opt to shoot safe.
Well, his safety game, though, is just picked up dramatically over the last few years.
Difficult hit here.
Oh, is it? Sure.
Difficult hit.
Very difficult. He can go between the 6 and 8 by shooting a kind of a little masse kick.
Very, very difficult kick here. I make him a dog if they hit the one.
Now, this is certainly a rough spot.
He's not going to hit it that way.
Well, the 8's in the way of going 2 rails.
He's not going to hit it that way. Even if he tries to draw it, I don't think it's going to take effect.
No, that won't work. The 8 is smacking the way.
Yeah. You might have to tie it to 6, 7. It's not even, he's rarely up against it here. This is such a small ball here, if there's any ball.
Yeah, the 2's in the way if it goes that way, or the 4. I like to shorten this shot up if the 2's not there.
Yeah, he's got a real difficult hit.
Now he's finally looking at the right one, the only
I
reasonable.
don't think he has the ability to hit it. I don't think he can even hit it this way.
But if he does this,
maybe with high right-hand English, maybe a high right-hand English, he might be able to hit it. See, he hit it too hard.
Yeah, that was
very difficult. Very, and the ball's once again in Strickland steps to the table with something that he.
That's
likes.
a very valid point that you make there, Billy, because some of my worst matches that I've played have been ones where every time it was my shot, it seemed like it was a really hard opening shot. And Earl certainly hasn't had that. Although he made some good shots, he made a couple on the 1 ball, as a matter of fact. But at any rate, he'll probably get out here. Doesn't have to.
I think the ball count differential is even, worse than the actual score of the match. I think that Earl has pocketed way more than twice as many balls as SanSouci.
And what did we have that figured at before? Didn't we figure that the average match winner made between 90 and 100 balls?
I don't know. I didn't.
71 to 45, we're informed by our great
well, I think
staff.
that this particular match, Earl has certainly surpassed that. He's definitely made more than twice as many balls as SanSouci in this match. Oh, this match is 71-45? Well, that's not the question. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Pat. The question that Grady asked was, what's the average ball count?
I thought it was between 90 and 100 balls pocketed per winner of the match. Okay, that's about right, I'm told. Now, this is perfect because he can come down to about the second diamond on the lower left-hand side rail, just like this. That's nicely done. Now, out one rail. Now, I like playing position here for the side. He may not. He may elect to play for the corner. This is a shot I like. Now he just goes 3 rails around the 9. And he's going to go ahead 10 games to 5.
And he's certainly making this look pretty easy.
Yes, he is. Well, this is the Earl Strickland that we are used to watching in championship 9-ball competition. My friend Vegard from Norway leads Barica 8 games to 6 as we speak. Oh boy, the guy from Japan leading Buddy Hall 9 to 2.
How about Archer's match? Can you see over there? Tell me what the score is of that match.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it looks like Archer's ahead 10 to 4. That's funny. Scott Smith announced Danny Medina as the Funky Medina from Denver. You didn't know that was a part of a lyric of a popular modern-day song.
No.
I don't know what the group was, but I hear the song because I have a teenage daughter. Scott apparently having a bit of trouble racking the balls. Well, I promise you we'll be right back with game number 16 as soon as Scott finishes racking the multicolored spears. I always thought Earl was best at this particular thing. When he gets on the hill, I think he breaks and runs out better than any 9-ball player I ever had the pleasure of being around. Well, he did not make a ball, and this is SanSouci's last hurrah.
Long road ahead of him, SanSouci, if he expects to win this match.
He's going to have to play the combination in the side. I like hitting this, not completely rolling it. I was hitting at a speed like that. But he snookered himself. He can only hit the outside of the 2-ball.
Well, he has really made some mistakes in this match.
Yes, he has.
This may be his worst match in some time.
Can we see the current averaging of the ACCUSTATS so we can get an idea of the numbers therein? 818, 952, as reflected by the score. Oh, what a nice shot. But Earl, I think, can twist this just enough to make it. The 3 balls on the lower left-hand side rail. I think you'll look at this and decide to twirl it or masse it gently. I'm going to have Scott watch the shot. I don't know why here, unless he's afraid that on the follow-through he might graze the 6-ball with his stick. This isn't too hard a shot. Hit it easy, like that. Smart, too, making sure that he at least hit it. Now, what do you like here? I see a lot of ways to play this shot.
Interesting.
Well, one shot I like here is one on the side and just stop the cue ball. Or that was a brilliantly thought of and executed safety. Not a tough hit for Earl, though. But I like going 3 rails rather than doing this. But I can't see how this ends up. Oh, he can make it. And he's got a nice angle to get on the 3-ball.
He has room to make it?
Yeah, he can make this. He can shoot it straight in. There's a little right-hand English. The cue ball goes right over for the 3. Okay, now he's got the perfect angle to go out for the 4 in the side pocket. Now you go down to the end rail and back up, and I don't want to be straight in on this 5-ball, though. I want a slight angle.
Yeah, he's got a slight one.
Oh, he's all right here. I think he can shoot this in with, maybe just above center ball, a touch of left English, and go right about where he indicated he would like to go.
That action on table 2 of tag 10 games and pieces. The race is 11. It's on the winner's side, so we'll be back. Put a hand, please, for John Horsfall, man, from the Rich Columbia. And David.
John Horsfall is tied up 10 apiece with somebody over there. And he had a nice finish here a year or 2 ago, I think a 3rd place finish. All right, George is going to claw his way back slightly. As soon as he pockets this 9-ball, we're going to change tapes. We'll be back with you momentarily.
Okay, we're back, and it's 10 to 6 in favor of Strickland. And doesn't look like George is going to come up with a ball on the break.
I don't believe Earl can get on this 2-ball, though, Billy. If he makes the one on the side, maybe he can go down to the end rail and back up for the 2-ball in the far right-hand corner pocket, but it sure doesn't look like it goes there naturally. He can play the 1-ball in the corner pocket. It's a harder shot, but he'll probably have position on the 2-ball.
Wow,
that's
shot.
a great shot. That is
what
a great
shot. What a shot.
I can't tell you folks how tough that particular perpetration was. He had to elevate the cue, hit it with some pace with inside English, off angle. Well, this is, well, now getting on the 4 ball is not so easy. Now, if he elevates the cue here, I'd like to, all right, he's going to follow it and go around the 9-7 like this. Nice shot. Are we going to do an interview? Okay. And now he'll play this in the corner, probably. And I kind of like just pulling it back a little below straight into the 6 ball. You like anything better, Bill?
Oh, no, I like that as well.
Just like this. Did he get there? I think so. Now the cue ball goes up close to the diamond just below the left-hand side pocket and towards the 7 ball. Like this. Beautiful. Now he can just shoot and stop or go forward one rail a little bit. The 9 ball, he's going to play position for the side pocket. And as we wait for this, I want to tell you what a pleasure it's been working with you, my old friend, once again.
Well, thank you, my old friend.
Well,
my old friend.
yeah.
And there you have it.
Okay, and our final tally reads 11 games to 6, and I want to tell everybody to certainly avail yourselves of some of the great ACCUSTAT products, and we thank you for watching, and we look forward to the next time. 957 Earl ended up shooting, and Billy, that's a great stat.
Well, yeah, it's really going to be difficult to beat anyone that shoots a 957. You know, he pocketed, how many balls did he pocket? He pocketed probably 90 balls. 89 balls.
Oh, that's a pretty good estimate on your part. Did you ever try to guess the jelly beans or whatever it is in the big jar? Maybe you should try that.
No, I don't think I would do well with that. I had a little assistance because I knew he pocketed 74 or 75 balls a few racks ago.
Yeah.
And so I figured he'd be pocketed close to 90 balls.
All right. Well, at any rate, with these glowing thoughts in mind, Billy, I think I'll bid you good evening.
And it's been a pleasure working with you as well, Grady. 1-800-828-0397. We're out of here.